Hills, Los Angeles, California. Who said the crowds wouldn't embrace football being back in L.A.? You certainly couldn't tell that by what we saw a few moments ago. These folks are pumped up as their Rams get set to do battle with the Seattle Seahawks. On the return, the All-Pro 2 years ago, Tyler Lockett. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28. Yard line.
Number 16 on the return.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. 14. Hey, tempo.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mark Barron.
Brandon, when we sat with the offensive coordinator in the coach and talked about how they wanted to begin this game offensively. They talked about their script, didn't they? 10 to 15 plays, the first 10 to 15 they had on their script. Nowhere on the script was there throwing an interception, I have to believe.
Hey, 76. Here we go, fellas. Here we go. 76. Go. 76.
Now the first carry here for Todd Gurley. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Barkevius Mingo in that time on the tackle.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. From the pistol, it's Gurley. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
So a bullet dodge there defensively. They surrender excellent field position on the kick return, but it winds up not costing them a thing.
And that's a tough sequence of events from an offensive perspective. The inability to get first downs leads to the field goal try. And the inability to cash that in leads to nothing on the scoreboard.
They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. Here's Wilson. Flushed out right. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
19.
Play action. Now Wilson. Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked off by Mark Barron. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Another carry now for Gurley. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one good for 33 and a first.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. That good for 19 and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it's going to be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
1st and goal, Kelly. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. John Kelly punching it in from a yard away. And the Rams are going to take a first quarter lead. Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And that makes the score 7-0. Zuerlein out now to kick this one away. Tyler Lockett now with a return. Oh, eluding the tackle. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. And nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Come on, let's go, let's go. Fair, fair.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Buying time to his left. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Aqib Talib. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? I mean, you're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play. But when it doesn't work, oh, boy, you wish you hadn't.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Here we go, fellas, here we go. Twos.
Following the penalty, it's Gurley. And he's got some space here. And he's going to be out of of bounds down inside the 20 at the 15. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough third down.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Third and long. It's gone. Flush to his right. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong,
and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Samson Abukum able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a second down and 12. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to the City of Angels after this timeout. They'll come up after the sack on a second and 12. Now Wilson on second down. And he's going to go down again. Matt Longacre in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs are going to lead to a third and long. On third down, Wilson eluding the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep. And this is caught inside the 5. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. There's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks able to make this a close game again. And it's up and good. Out to kick is Janikowski. This is fielded at the goal line. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On the counter, Gurley. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 4, but they're still looking up here at a tough 3rd and 11.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
He's going to air it out deep for Wood, and this will be caught at the 30. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. A gain of 39 that time. On first down, it's Gurley. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
76.
Throwing on third, Goff. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Here we go. It's Gurley. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, this from 33. And Zerline's kick is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive, go into the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Airing it out deep for Woods. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
That has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete. But you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Right back to him on first down. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Here comes a 20th carry for Gurley. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. The Rams on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go.
They go play action with Gurley. Now Goff. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First time they've looked his way in this game, he comes through picking up the first. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The tackle by Tom Johnson. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Here we go, here we go.
A play fake to Gurley. Now Goff. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
Back to the ground game here. Gurley. And he's got Todd Gurley. Wave goodbye. Touchdown, L.A. Todd Gurley, 34 yards. And the Rams add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch. You know, sometimes the guy on the defensive side of the ball, he just has a good feeling or a good read, and he unleashed his defense on that one. Boy, they stopped them in a big way.
Yeah, I hate to be cliche, but sometimes we overanalyze. They just have more want. Looked like they had more want right there.
More want and more people to the ball.
Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the 3rd. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now Wilson, he'll dump it off to Procise. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And he'll get it down deep into Los Angeles territory. That one goes for 36 yards.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that, but a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area.
And it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays.
Again they run with Gurley. Fights through and now a crease. Todd Gurley, wave goodbye. Past the 20. Touchdown, L.A. Todd Gurley, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Rams add on to their lead. Now Goff will lead the Rams up to go for 2. They'll try and run it with Gurley. Ooh, with a juke. And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the 2-point conversion for good measure. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is points.
And the Rams got him. They bring him down. Matt Longacre in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and set.
They've got his man complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 44-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. 41 yards. Wilson now off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. That's caught by Penny. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Rashad Penny, 44 yards. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. From the gun, it's Wilson. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone, and that cuts the lead a bit further. Out to kick is Janikowski. Cooper on the return. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. The Rams on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
Orange.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The 13 yards that time and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Now a handoff for Gurley. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone, the ball seat.
And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Robert Woods, 40